Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There's been a lot of talk about Fantastic Four's performance at the box office, or how it's not performing, and how it's really bad news for Marvel going forward. Their worst nightmare is coming true. I'll explain what that is. Not exactly the nightmare that you're expecting, but it is one of the reasons why Marvel is so happy that people are excited about Spider-Man Brand New Day right now, and why Marvel is so cool letting all the footage come to the internet now of them filming scenes right now. I've even done a couple Spider-Man videos recently. Marvel loves that because they've gotten so much goodwill from those Spider-Man scenes that they're no longer nearly as concerned with the underperformance of Fantastic Four at the box office. There is a lot to unpack here because even Herbie is kind of worried about what's happening next. Disney CEO Bob Iger and Kevin Feige have already commented on how all these things affect Marvel's larger plans going forward for the movies. I don't usually do box office analysis videos for movies because they tend to be very, very dry, but I think it's important in this case, particularly with what's happening with Fantastic Four and generally their movies in 2025. And how all this bad news and underperformance is causing them to change their plans for the future of all the movies and TV shows multiple times the past couple of years. Like, there have been big changes after Secret Invasion cratered Marvel interest. But you remember, they've actually made more changes multiple times since then, like they literally just delayed Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars a bunch. So it's kind of been a bad year at the box office for Marvel just in general because of Captain America Brave New World, then Thunderbolts underperforming, now Fantastic Four underperforming. It doesn't mean that Marvel is cooked, but it does mean there are some bigger changes coming to Marvel in the next several years. We will explain what's going on. Kevin Feige has already detailed a lot of these changes. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. As a lot of you have probably guessed, it's ironic now how badly Marvel now needs Spider-Man Brand New Day to perform next year because it's their last chance to build hype for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. They really, really need that strong lead-in to Avengers Doomsday. This is why you're seeing Marvel be so cool with all the Spider-Man stuff that's leaking from Brand New Day onto the internet right now. Like, they're just, please let it all get out there. People are having fun, enjoying Marvel stuff. They're getting hyped up about Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is why Marvel is so cool with all the Spider-Man pictures and set videos coming to the internet right now.
I want Spider-Man!
A really good comparison to make would be Christopher Nolan's Odyssey movie. I tried to make a video for that trailer that they only released in theaters a couple weeks ago. It stars a bunch of Marvel actors, including actors that are also in Spider-Man Brand New Day, like Tom Holland and Jon Bernthal. Universal tried to block that movie instantly a number of times. I was able to keep it up, but I had to edit the video in really weird ways to get the copyrighted stuff out of it. But when it comes to Marvel and all the Spider-Man stuff hitting the internet, they're totally cool with it just because they need all that juice, all that hype. This is one of the clever things that Marvel also does, like studio orchestrated leaks just to build hype for movies. This year in 2025, as of me posting this video, it's a huge reversal of Sony and Marvel's relationship, very ironic from when they first signed the sharing deal to get Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Captain America Civil War to do the MCU Spider-Man solo movies in the first place. You'll remember, Sony really needed Marvel more than Marvel needed Spider-Man. Now it's totally reversed. Marvel absolutely needs Spider-Man way more than Sony needs Marvel now. Spider-Man Brand New Day is not guaranteed to earn over $1 billion, but I do think it's going to earn more money than Deadpool and Wolverine did, which would be at least $1.4 billion. I'll talk more about that during my Spider-Man specific videos. There are a couple things that they're doing with the way they cast the movie and what they're doing in the movie to stack the deck in their favor. The reason why everyone is now talking about the Fantastic Four and Marvel's worst nightmares coming true are because it's looking like it's going to earn less money than, say, Captain America Brave New World did, Captain America being the highest earning Marvel movie of 2025, despite everybody reviewing Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four much, much better, more favorably. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, both the audience and the critics scores for Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are vastly, vastly higher than Captain America Brave New World, but both movies seem like they're going to underperform Captain America Brave New World. What does that mean? Why did that happen? Based on those critic and audience Rotten Tomatoes scores, it seems like Marvel answered fans' request to make better movies, so then why aren't people going to see those better movies? That is actually Marvel's worst nightmare, is that they make good movies, but still people do not go to see them. It's not a mystery when people don't go to see a bad movie. It didn't perform well, people didn't care to go see it because it was bad, but what happens when there's a great movie that people still won't go see? Kevin Feige has already talked about this and why he thinks Thunderbolts and now Fantastic Four are underperforming. Slightly different reasons, but not that different. In the case of Thunderbolts, Kevin Feige blamed the movie doing poorly on the fact that it was built on mostly a house of cards and a lot of Marvel Phase 4 pandemic characters that people mostly saw developed on TV or in really roundabout ways, or they were lesser D-list characters that weren't that hyped up to begin with. Like, it's really hard to get people excited to go spend money, especially a lot of money, on theater tickets for characters that they weren't that excited about before. There are a lot of things stacking the deck against the Thunderbolts movie. The people point to that whole new Avengers twist at the end. That was not the reason why the movie underperformed. That was just a symptom of a larger problem. Originally, it was conceived as a Black Widow 2 sequel movie, a movie which really didn't demand a sequel to begin with, like, why do we need a Black Widow sequel? Then when it comes to the hardcore fans, the roster of the Thunderbolts was just vastly different from anything that people have been asking for, like, why are you going with this roster? Like, why are there so many super soldiers on the team? What's going on here? So if you want to blame someone for Thunderbolts underperforming, I would actually blame Kevin Feige for greenlighting that movie in the first place. When it comes to Fantastic Four, what the box office numbers seem to indicate based on the past couple weeks it's been out is it performed about as well as Superman opening weekend, which for Marvel right now is great numbers. Like, it actually did really decent opening weekend, but then in its second week, Fantastic Four had a massive drop-off, one of the worst ones for any Marvel movie. What that means is that the hardcore Marvel audience will show up for pretty much anything, but the casual audience and families just are not there anymore. And those are the real people that Marvel needs in order to keep making these $200 million movies. So Marvel's real big problem right now is more with the casual audience not caring about Marvel movies as much. This is why Deadpool and Wolverine can still earn over $1 billion while other Marvel movies around it are just bombing left and right. Both of them are long-time established fan-favorite characters with hardcore and casual audiences. Like, people love them, some Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Regular casuals will show up for that.
You save the good stuff for special occasions?
When it comes to the casual audience in the Fantastic Four, most people just remember the big misfire of the 2010s Fantastic Four bomb. It sounds like they were just not intrigued by the whole 1960s period piece of this new movie, or the fact that Pedro Pascal was in it, or even just the rest of the cast in general. So it's kind of an uphill battle all the way with the casual audience in the Fantastic Four movie. Kevin Feige probably not super surprised that it did not earn over $1 billion. He probably was not expecting it to earn that much money. But it does show you how much now Marvel needs Spider-Man Brand New Day to give them that mega bump heading into Avengers Doomsday, and those Avengers Doomsday trailers to really hit. Now they're really banking on Robert Downey Jr. returning, getting people's butts in seats. This is also why they're so happy to pay him over $100 million for both of these next Avengers movies, because they need him that badly. What the Disney CEO and Kevin Feige have both said about how all this changes Marvel's big plans for the movies going forward is both a combination of rebooting the MCU to make it way easier for brand new audiences to jump on with Marvel after Avengers Secret Wars. Remember, they're losing the casual audience right now. That's what all these box office numbers really show you, is that they're losing casual audiences. And one of the other biggest changes, and this might seem obvious when you actually think about it, Kevin Feige specifically said they're going to be casting brand new and unknown actors for the upcoming X-Men reboot movie in 2028, specifically to reduce the budget. Marvel cannot keep making $200 million, $250 million movies if they're only going to be earning $400 to $500 million on them at most. Based on what they've said, they're already in the process of doing that for movies after Secret Wars. Like, they're going to open up their purse strings and spend all the money they need to spend to get people hyped up for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but then they're really going to be pinching pennies after that. Reboot, recast as much as possible with cheaper actors so they can use all their popular characters in the toy box, starting fresh, to make as many Spider-Man puns as possible. A brand new day, fresh start for Marvel after Secret Wars. And one of the other things that they're doing going forward is just physically making less movies, releasing less movies and TV shows. That's what happens when you earn less money on your stuff, is you pull way back to optimize your spending. Also gives them way more time to focus on the quality of the things that they do wind up releasing.
Doom began corrupting your entire world.
So even though Fantastic Four right now seems like it's Marvel's worst nightmare coming true, their whole 2025 just all completely underperforming, they really need Spider-Man Brand New Day to do crazy numbers next year. This doesn't mean that Marvel is completely over. It just means that we are definitely going to get that reboot after Avengers Secret Wars, and it's going to look very different in the MCU just in general after that. Also means the movies that they do wind up releasing will be way more safe bets in terms of titles. Like, you're not going to get quite as much weird stuff like you saw by the time we got to Marvel Phase 3. Most people will lament that that means we might not get weird, cool stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. If they weren't brave enough to try weird stuff, we would have never gotten that first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it is possible for them to do brand new weird fringe characters and still perform at the box office, but it's probably going to be a while before Marvel feels confident enough to try and do that again. They kind of tried that through all of Marvel Phase 4, and it did not go well. But everyone, post all your reactions in the comments below. If Marvel's making all these changes going forward based on the box office from 2025 and just even their decent movies underperforming, how do you feel like this is going to change Marvel going forward? The weird thing about this is that there is supposedly still a date that Marvel is holding for a mystery movie next year. We will see if they stick to that and there is some surprise movie that they wind up releasing, or it's something else. It might just be for that Punisher special presentation. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. Like I said, this is also why they're so happy to get all the Spider-Man pictures and video out there right now. I will, of course, do all the videos for that, like when there's a couple really big things. I'm waiting for like a bunch more stuff to drop before I do another big Spider-Man video, so we will see. I literally just posted another big one. Click here for that, and click here for my other big Sony Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer videos and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.